Hello everybody. This is Carol with Refunction Crafts, and this is just a little preview of what we're going to be making in today's video. It's going to be polymer clay roses, and the ones that we made today are this one, this one, this one, and this one. These are ones that I made at other times, and then I made these leaves today, but I made those off camera. So anyway, you're going to see me make these roses here. Beautiful, beautiful roses. These two are my favorite. I hope I can, if I can, I'd like to ask you all to please subscribe to my channel. I think you'll find that I've got a lot of really great video tutorials on so many different crafts. I'm an eclectic crafter. I like to do a lot of different things and show other people how to do a lot of those different things. So I hope you will subscribe, and again, give it a like, a thumbs up, a share, whatever you can do. Trying to increase my subscriber base right now. I really could use it right now. And I hope you guys will thoroughly enjoy this video. I'm going to quickly read a quote to you all, and I hope you like it. It says, "If you want the moon, do not hide from the night. If you want a rose, do not run from thorns. If you want love, do not hide from yourself." So in other words, love yourself, you guys. I thought that was so beautiful, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I hope you like that. And that is by Rumi, R-U-M-I, Rumi. So I may take a screenshot of this. I don't know if I can. It's on Amazon. I can't. So anyway, maybe I'll screenshot it real quick and I'll retype it, and I will, of course, give Rumi credit for that quote. It's beautiful, and the best part of it was, you know, we need to start loving ourselves more, you guys. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's move on with this video. I hope you like it, guys. Hi everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today we are going to do the clay roses. I decided yesterday, I started to do this video, and not very long into the video I shut it down and I said, no, I can't do this. I was just not in a place where I could do this. So that was when I did those little magnets, the Dollar Tree magnets. And I knew I could just do and be calm. I was having a very emotional day yesterday, and I just needed to do something, but this wasn't it. So I did put it aside, and then last night I got myself together with my clay, and I made these, and I think they turned out really pretty. I like them better than the first roses that I did. They came out very lacy looking and very realistic, actually. So I was really happy with the way those turned out. The only thing I don't like is like the center of this one. So I may end up putting something else in the middle of that. And what I think I might be able to do is to snip some of this piece in the middle out, and or I could add some of my little tiny pearls that I get with some of my my little flowers. That would work great. I don't know if I have any of those nearby, but they come with, yeah, these little bitty pearls in there. I could just put some B7000 in there and just sprinkle them in, and I'll be set. Or resin. I could just pop some resin in there probably and just sprinkle them on top of the resin and do it that way. So I think that's a great idea for that one. This one has a little thing in the middle
which is kind of more the way you're supposed to do it. So this one doesn't look bad. It looks fine. It looks like it's part of the bud in the middle. But this one just, it's a little too big. But we will fix that because the flower itself is really pretty gorgeous. So I'm happy with how those turned out, but today we're going to do even better, right? I have some cornstarch here. I am going to use my cornstarch today because I didn't use it yesterday on these, and it does make it a little harder to, you know, the clay sticks to things and whatever, and we're just going to go ahead and use all the tools that we need today. So these are the colors that I have. I have some pink that got some purple on it, but that's okay. Just a dot. So we have pink. We have this olive sort of, or avocado green. We have this lighter green. These are mainly for leaves. We've got some white and we've got some purple. These were the only colors that I was able to get at the Dollar Tree. And again, these are Dollar Tree clays, you guys. So I got these at the Dollar Tree. And they're nice clays to work with. I used to work with polymer clay a lot. I used to make some pretty cool stuff. I've got a couple of them right nearby here. Now you guys may laugh at my little girl here, but I made her exactly the way I wanted to. She's a little artsy, I would say. So this is my girl that I made that sits, and look at her little rose came off, darn. I need to put that right back there. She's old. I've had her for a very, very long time, and while we're sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that rose back on with my B7000. Just a tiny little dot of it will do. And we'll pop that rose back in there on her hat. And there we go. She's all set. So anyway, this is the girl that I made. And let me show you her face. She has the cutest, not the prettiest face in the world, but she has a great face. I love her. And just her little dress and everything. And this is from, again, when I was doing this a long time ago. But you can see her arms and legs are very spindly, sort of. Look at her feet. Look at her little bare feet. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. So this is something I made years ago when I used to do this with my mother-in-law. And then this is one that my mother-in-law made. This is a little elf that she did. So super stinking cute, right? So yeah, so this is the kind of stuff I used to make. I made little chickens and other little dolls and things like that. But we used to have fun. We would work for hours on the weekend. I would literally stay Friday and Saturday night when my father-in-law was out of town because he was a truck driver. And we would just have the best time ever. Just the two of us girls laughing, and we'd do a little shopping in between. We'd go get supplies or whatever, and we would just have the best time ever. So these are the Dollar Tree clays that I have. I've got just a few little tools, you know, that I thought we might be able to use. The only thing I don't have, I wanted to grab a razor blade real quick. Be right back. Okay, so I got a few razor blades. Of course, we don't need all of those, but I wanted to have some in here that I can use at other times. I just need to put these in a safe place so that I don't stab myself with them at some point, or my dog doesn't get a hold of them. So I also grabbed a few of these little dental floss picks. I thought maybe those might be usable for some part of the process. I doubt it. We will probably only use one or two of these tools to begin with. So yeah, I got this, which is something that was sent to me in Happy Mail, but this has that ball on the end of it. So this works good for shaping your flower petals. I got a couple of pencils for the erasers in case we want to use erasers for something. I don't know. I've got this, which this will work for cutting and creating lines in leaves and things like that. A couple of paint brushes because these can be used to smooth the clay out. I've got some toothpicks. I've got a skewer. These are something that you can use to get your rows started, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I was using yesterday, I took a Q-tip, just a regular old Q-tip. I cut one end off and I put my beginning part of the rose right here on this end. So that was how I got it started. So I liked using this Q-tip thing. It didn't always stick really great to it, but I like it because it's round and it worked. I mean, it worked really great. So I'm not going to complain. So I think I'm going to use that today. And the first flower that we're going to make, I think we'll make a pink one. And I'm going to keep the white out because I'm going to tone down this pink a little bit. I don't want it quite so bright, and it's not too terribly bright, but I want it lighter. So there's a little piece of pink. And let's get some white out of here if I can get it out of here. Let's see. We'll just use our little razor blade here. Handy dandy razor blade. And I'm just going to cut into that paper and make it easy on myself. So let's grab some white. And I'm going to make like more of a pale pink flower, I think. We'll see how pale it gets. So we'll take this piece of pink and we'll just start working the white into it. Just like that. So just put them together and just start twisting. Just like this. You want to work your clay to begin with anyways to get it soft enough to work with. You don't want it to be super brick hard, but this clay, that's one of the things I like about it, is that it's pretty soft to begin with, so you don't have to work with it a lot. And you guys know my hands are just a mess, and so this has been easy for me to work with. Now right there we have almost like a marbly look. Now that would be, you know, you can get flowers in nature that have that sort of marbled effect, so you could do that. You could make beads out of this stuff, you know, really great beads, super easy. Yeah, so you could make teeny tiny flowers, which I do want to make some of just to kind of give it a shot. And those would be really easy and quick. I could probably do a whole bunch of little teeny tiny flowers at one time. So there we go. We've got a light pink. I like that. And that's probably going to be enough to do a flower. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to start, we're going to roll this out into a snake. Just like this, easy peasy. I found this to be sort of almost the easiest way to do this, to get what I want. Okay, so the first part is going to be the center part. So we need a piece of clay to go on the tip of this Q-tip. So we're just going to kind of wrap it around there. Bring it up to a kind of almost a point at the top, and then just get it to where it's snugly on that Q-tip, just like that. And that's going to be our starting point.
I don't want to get too close because I find that even though to me it doesn't look like I'm close enough, when I start watching the video, I'm too close.
So that's our starting point right there. Easy peasy, right? And now we're going to start cutting these and making petals out of them. So I want these to all be about the same size. Not all of them, the beginning. Let's see, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go with 10, that size. And really all we have to do, I'm going to take a little bit of cornstarch here on my finger. I'm just going to rub it in there, and I'm going to take these and start pressing them out. Put some on my thumbs. And this is going to make it real easy to press these, and they're not going to totally stick to my fingers like they did yesterday. And I'm making these pretty thin, you guys.
So you can see there, look how thin that is.
So we want very thin petals. You don't want to get too much cornstarch on this because you will dry out the clay. I may have a little bit too much on there, but I'm trying not to get it too dried out. And we're just trying to make our petals about the same size. And I can take this and roll it like that. Let's see what this little ball does. Because I didn't use this yesterday. I just found this today. So you can take that little ball and roll it out. And it's probably going to be a little bit easier if I don't drop it. Okay. And it also gives it a little bit of shape. So press it down, get it going. Let's see, and I'm sure the more I use this, the easier it'll get to work with it. Yeah, I don't know, I think my fingers for this small petal work a little bit better. So I'm just going to go with my fingers. Just press it out and start spreading it. Oops, and I tore it, so now I gotta kind of get it going again. And sometimes you may have to roll it back up and start over because it gets all misshapen a little bit more than you want it to be. But even this is fine. It's got a little shape to it. That's okay, you guys. That's not going to affect the look of the petal once you put it on the flower. You're going to be fine. So you can see that one's got a little more shape to it. You kind of want that in certain places. You want them to not be perfect. My fingernails are not dirty, you guys. They've got cornstarch up in them and glue from when I put them on that oozed. So you can see there's a little point on this one. That's okay. I'm not worried about that point. The main thing is I know up on this edge I've got that nice little petal shape. And when I'm putting my finger in this cornstarch, I'm just tapping it in there and rubbing it into all my fingers. Spreading it around real good. But the thing is I don't want it to get too dried out, because when I go to put it on here, I want it to stick. So actually one of the things that I needed to do is to get a little bit of water, like so that I can use little dots of water to make this stick. And this is going to be probably a fairly small rose. I'm not exactly sure how big. See, my fingers are getting sticky, so I need to get some more cornstarch on there. And the cornstarch, if you're doing molded flowers, you need to have cornstarch, you guys. Make sure that you have cornstarch to put in your molds, because you'll never get them out of those molds without ripping them if you don't use cornstarch in them. And this one just did not come out rounded at all. That's okay. And that's a nice small piece, and that will be good for the starting point of the flower. And you'll see, once I put this together, most people, what they do is they'll get it into a ball and then start sort of pressing it out, which is what I really should be doing. But for me, I just start pressing and working the clay, and I'm a happy camper when I'm done. Okay. I need a little bit more. And the thing is you might want to make your roses to have a thicker pieces, because they can get kind of fragile if you make them super thin like this. But I like the look of the thin petals, so that's what I want to do. So let me go grab some water real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring you guys in just a tad more.
And I made this one little piece here because I'm going to use this. It's kind of a marbly piece with some white and pink in it. I'm going to use that as my first part of the center so that it will make a bud. And I want to get this to a nice little point at the top. And then I'm going to stick that like that. And this one doesn't have any cornstarch on it either, so it'll stick right to that. There. So you could just take,
and you could make a whole bunch of little rosebuds just like that, with 1 or 2 layers of that sort of one piece kind of
thing, and there you go. You've got a bunch of little rosebuds. And then we're going to take some of these small ones, and we're going to start right here where the ending of that is, and we're going to wrap it just like that, and then just sort of bend it down at these sections right there, just like that. Okay, this is the next smaller one, so the next small one, I should say, not smaller. See, now this one's got cornstarch, and I forgot to dab it with a little bit of water to get rid of that cornstarch. And we're going to go like this, and there we go. And we're just going to start taking these guys. I'm going to clean my fingers off a little bit. And let's see, let's take this one. And I've got a paper towel here. Let's go with this one now. And again, at the end of this other one, we're going to sort of overlap it a little bit. And just like that. Just take one finger, hold it on there, and press it on gently. Try to be gentle, try not to touch this top section. Okay, so now we'll take this one, and I'm just trying to clean a little bit of the cornstarch off a little bit before I start. We've got it overlapping, and now we're getting behind that first little section that we did, we're just going to take these corners and sort of fold them down. You make those petals look however you want them to look, you guys.
This would be a good, like, small
bud that's opening up. You could stop right here and make, you know, you'd have a pretty little flower. But we don't want to do that. I may have to do some more pieces, but I was thinking I really kind of want to make this a small rose. So that one, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to play with the petals at this moment. Okay. And now we'll get this one on there. Just like that. And that one, I am going to pull that petal back because it's a little tight on there and I don't want it to stick. So I'm just rolling it down just like that. I'll just go ahead and do the one next to it a little bit too. Why not? Okay. It doesn't matter. You guys do this however you want to do it. And you'll find your own comfort zone. Because everybody does these a little bit differently, you guys. Not everybody does it the same. There's no right or wrong way to make these. If it works for you, then it's right. You know, and if you get the flower that you're looking for, then it's right. I'm just barely touching that water and touching this so that it's sticky again. And this one's going to go right here. And you can see I've almost got sort of a whole rose ready to go. I feel like I may end up needing a couple more petals. Trying to see where I ended here. And right there. Whoops, this one. I'll go right next to that one. And I've got one more here. And it's going to go right here. And just press it into the bottom of that little clay piece that was on your Q-tip. Just be super gentle, you guys. Use your hands gently. And then you can take from here, if you want to, you can take your tools to kind of gently guide these the way you want them to be. If you want to shape it and get it into, say, a rounder shape, you can easily just pull those pieces in a little bit. And you've got a rounder shape.
And there we have a beautiful, beautiful rose.
So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, pull it off of the Q-tip here, and I'm going to take my razor blade. Be careful with this, or use a knife, you guys, however you're more comfortable. I've gotten pretty good at knowing when to stop with a razor blade, so pull that piece off. And there we have a pretty little flower. Look at that. That one turned out beautiful, you guys. I see a spot where I kind of feel like, you know what? I might try and make a petal here and see if I can put it on that one edge right here. I feel like I need a little bit more Now see, this is where you're getting tricky though, because you don't want to squish the rest of your flower and ruin all that hard work that you just did by putting one more petal in where you thought you needed it. And I guarantee you, I'm touching these petals over here a little bit, and I'm going to be mad at myself. So you really want to make sure that you do all this stuff while it's still on the Q-tip or the toothpick, whatever you decide to use. Okay, so that's okay. I didn't destroy it. See, they still come up on this side, so we're good. Okay, so we have our first beautiful, beautiful rose. And I think it turned out really, really nice. I'm really happy with that. And then I've got a little piece of foil here because I want to get them ready to put in the oven. So I'm just going to set that aside. And let's go with, let's just make a plain old white rose, because I'm going to need some more of those. Okay. So again, we're going to roll it out into a tube. And this one, what we could do is we could take it, I forgot I still have all that pink there. I didn't even realize I had that, or I'd have probably added a couple more petals to the other rose before I took it off that Q-tip. Oh well, that's all right. So maybe what we can do is we can make this sort of a pink and white one. I don't want to do it too crazy, because I did do one. I did this one. And it's beautiful. It's purple and white. But it's not exactly the way I wanted it to look. So I was a little disappointed in myself over that one. But what I might do is maybe just put a little pink center in this one, and then we'll go from there, just to have that little bit of pink in there. Or what you could do with this, you guys, look, you could take this and you could roll it out a little bit and then press it, and you can make yourself a little bud. Instead of doing the little pointy thing, you could take a little bud or a little piece of this, start rolling it around, and there you've got a nice little bud right in the center. Okay, be safe. So now I've got a nice little bud right in the center. I don't have that little pointy thing, and I think, honestly, I think this is going to look better than the little piece that sits in the center of it. That was just, I watched a video on that, and so I was just kind of following the way that girl did it, but I kind of feel like it could have been better. And these I'm going to make a little bit bigger. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Some of this is thinner than other sections, so that's a big thick section. And we'll just go ahead and we'll cut all of these into pieces. Flatten this guy out. And I do kind of feel like over time you can get better and faster at this, I'm sure. And I didn't have too much trouble with the cornstarch being on those other buds. You know what? And this one, no, I'm gonna make it thin too. I like those thin. Maybe I won't make it quite as thin. We'll see how that comes out. So we won't make it so paper thin. Whoops. And I'm just basically squishing those tubes down and then pressing them. So these are a little bit thicker. Maybe they'll be easier to work with if they're thicker. You know, for you guys as a beginner, sometimes that's, you know, if you've got a little more to hold on to, you don't feel quite as nervous about breaking pieces off and you know, ruining something. So, and you can devise your own way of pressing these out, but I am telling you, you want to have the cornstarch ready because this stuff is sticky clay. Sometimes you get stickier clay depending on the brand that you buy. Some of it is harder clay, but I've always found that the harder clay always seems to you can have an issue with it cracking, and we don't want this to crack. What does work good is resining over the top of the clay to keep it from cracking. I've made a lot of things. Oh my God, I made this pretty, it was a man. And I made him over the outside of a very, very thin bottle. And he was like a little like New Orleans band member kind of guy. And oh my God, he was so handsome and so out of this world. Just the favorite piece I ever made. I just adored him. And I don't know where I've put him. I know I have put him away because we were redoing some stuff in the house. And this was years ago. And I put some stuff in boxes and I put it away. And I have not seen any of that stuff in years. And I want to get him out. He would be so cute on my mantle. Oh my word, he was just adorable. And at this point, I worry, though, that he's been put away for so long and not cared for that he might be cracking, you know. Because back then, I didn't work with resin at all. I didn't even know what it was. And so we would take and paint a little bit. On some pieces, we would paint a little bit of, you know, glossy... what do you call it? The high gloss stuff that you paint over the outside. Oh my goodness. Oh, my mind. I'm telling you. You guys, I'm losing it. Lacquer. Like a lacquer type thing. Shellac. But it was crafting. The crafting stuff. Kind of like triple thick or something like that, or glossy accents. I can't remember what it was, but you just painted it on, and it did help to keep the pieces a little bit more sturdy. So, I'm wondering if I want to do... No, I'm going to leave this pink alone for now. I'm just going to have the pink center. So we're going to start... putting our little petals on. I'm going to start over here next to this edge here where it's the end of the last petal, and I'm just going to let them stay upwards. We're going to leave them just the way they are right now at this stage of the game. Just let them poke up. I think I'm going to do better by doing that. I just feel it in my bones. That's got fingerprints on it. We definitely don't want to leave a bunch of fingerprints on your petals, you guys. So try and make sure you're checking for that before you put them on. This one I'm going to pull away a little bit. I'm totally okay with that pink center so far. I'm really liking it. So I think that was kind of a good idea. Just be careful you don't squeeze too hard down on the stick part, because you could end up loosening the clay from the stick. It happened to me yesterday and I was like, uh-oh, it's gonna come off. And it did. It started to come off a couple of times and I had to really be careful. And if you lose your place a little bit, don't worry about it. Just put it, look around and look where you think you need another petal and start going from there. Not a big deal. That one's quite a big petal there. I think I want one that is going to stick up to complement that one. So there I've got a nice little start to a pretty rose. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use all of these pieces. Why not? We made them. We might as well use them. And this one right here. And hopefully I will keep this thing looking round. It gets harder as you get closer to the end to keep it looking round. I've got one more petal here, and I think if I put it right here, I think we're going to be okay. And if I have to make, I think I need one more. I see a spot where I need one more petal. So I'm just going to very quickly make a nice big petal here because it has a decent space to cover. And we're going to put it right there. And that's the beauty of this. If you see spaces where you need to add something towards the end, just add it in there. Okay, so now, see, we did this one a little bit differently. So now I'm going to take these petals and let's see. I think I'm going to try, whoopsies, I'm going to try and use this. And I am going to cornstarch it a little bit so that it doesn't stick. And I'm just going to start sort of, let me start at the outer edge, and we'll start bending these outer petals down a little bit. And I'm just taking the corner edges and bending them down and sort of pinching in the middle. And then after I do some of this, I'll be able to tell if there's spaces where I need to add additional petals just to get it kind of finished off. And these I'm just sort of pulling them up and shaping them a little bit, making them a little more lacy. This one. Like that. And that one. And you guys, I guarantee you, in a fairly short period of time, I will get better at this myself. And I'll be able to do some videos where I'll have some just super gorgeous roses, because I am going to figure out some different styles to make and do. But that is a gorgeous, gorgeous rose. So we're ready to pop her off the stem. Take our razor blade, and I'm going to go right up in here, very gently up to my finger. I'm not pushing through to my finger. I'm just going to cut that off. And there we have it. We have a beautiful, beautiful rose. So we're going to put that aside with the other one. And let's do another one. This one we're going to make a small rose, and I'm going to go the easy route here. I'm just going to wrap this piece. That's a little too thick. Going to wrap this piece around here to start a bud. Oh, you know what? I know why they make that little pointy thing at the top. It's to keep there from being a hole in the center of the rose. I noticed on that one I just did, there's kind of like a little hole. I can put one of my little tiny pearls in there though, and it'll be really, really pretty. So I'm okay with that. But for this one, we'll go ahead and we'll put our little thing in the middle, and we'll make our little bud around the edge. And I'm going to try and make this sort of a small rose, just a little small one, kind of like this one. And yes, it is just a white rose. That's okay. And I think on this one, I'm going to try and make some leaves on it. Okay, so I went and got a darker piece of paper so that you guys can actually see what's happening here, because that white background is not helping me at all. Okay, so I just made a few petals. That's it. We're going to make this a rose of few petals. I'm going to go ahead and add another little piece to the top of this, like that. So there's our bud. And now we're going to do a few little petals, and I'm going to pull them out. You could make some really pretty, like, lilies. Would be easy peasy to make with this clay. Oh my goodness, it would be so easy. Put a little point in the middle. How's that? There we go. That looks kind of pretty. I like that. And if I can, you know, if I can get away with making roses with fewer petals that are going to be prettier, then that's what I'm going to do, if that works for me. And this is looking like it's going to work for me really well. I'm going to point that one. We have this last one coming on here. And I'm going to see if this will do it. And that would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 petals around the outside. And look at that.
It's gorgeous, you guys.
That is really all this flower needs. Now, I could add a little bit more to the outside, and actually I think I'm going to add one more, sort of like maybe 3 or 4 more petals, because I do want it, I think I want this one a little bit bigger now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to add, again, thick petals. I'm doing thicker petals, you guys, compared to the paper thin ones. These are a little bit thicker. Make these petals a little bit bigger because they're going to cover more space. Whoops. I don't want to use up all my white. I should have bought more. I don't know why. I think there was more white there, but I only grabbed one. They only had a few packages left, and I bought one of every color that they had. I can't remember which colors they had more of. I think they had more purple is what it was. There was only one color, I think, that they had more of. Okay, so I think that's going to cover me. So let's add one right here. And hopefully my camera is staying in focus and I'm not causing it to go out of focus by getting too close. Okay, a little point. This one's going to go next to that one. And we're going to bend the edges out and put our point in the middle, just like that. And I think these are going to be plenty. Whoops. Put this one here. Edges down. And point in the middle. And I need one more. And that's exactly what I have. That needs to go right here. Edges down. And point in the middle. And that is a very, very beautiful rose. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. I love this one, you guys. Oh, I'm super excited about this one. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for just a second. I so badly don't want to just set this down. Put it like that. And I'm going to grab some of my darker sort of avocado green clay. I used to make a lot of leaves, so I'm hoping I can do this fairly easily. I don't want them to be huge. Take it to a point at the tip, sort of like that. And it's a little thick, but I think I want it to be a little thick. Maybe I'll pinch it out just a little bit more and get a nice point at the tip. And I'm going to try and make, I think, 3 of these. And again, guys, don't worry about perfection. Nothing is perfect in nature. So you don't have to be perfect with this. I just want them to be close to the same size. But I think 3 is going to be just about right. And there's another one. Okay, so what I'm going to do to this now is I'm going to take my little trusty tool here, and I'm going to make a little line going down the middle, and I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to sort of push in to shape the leaf a little bit. Just like that. And sort of bring those lines down to the middle line. And then we'll do the other side. The other side isn't as easy for me to work with because it makes me feel awkward, but okay, so there's one. I just have such a hard time holding on to anything anymore, especially teeny tiny things. And that's why making little teeny tiny things sometimes is not my best skill. It sounds like the mail person is leaving, so I'm guessing we probably got some mail. Okay, so now on this one we are going to have some leaves. We're going to press those around the edge. Pretty, pretty. And there's one, and I think I'm going to put this one right next to that one. And this one, let's see, do we want it to go sort of on the other side? Or do we want it to go with those? I think we're going to add 3 leaves to the one side, and I like it. How's that, you guys?
Pretty?
I like the 3 leaves. I think it probably would have been fine with 2. You know, a lot of the makers just make the 2 leaves, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of those leaves off because it does add weight to it, and I don't want to make it too heavy. And the 2 looks really good.
I think that looks more
right. Okay. So now that we've got those all on, we're going to twist off our rose. Going to take our razor blade and we're going to go right up to the bottom part of the rose and slice. And there we go. Gorgeous. Okay, let me find something I can set it on top of. Here, this is pink. You guys will be able to see it with that background.
There we go.
And then this is the other one that we did. And this is the other white one we did.
So those are the 3 we've done so far. Aren't they pretty?
I kind of wish I had put leaves on these, but I want to make some without and some with. But I'm really loving this rose the best. So maybe making the thicker, for me right now, I feel like a beginner because it's been so long since I've done this. For me right now, making the thicker petals is probably a good idea. Because that really turned out, and I only had to use like 6 or 7 petals. So I think I like that for me. And I honestly didn't use any cornstarch on that one either. I just pressed out the petals, and that was it. And Jeff is home. I am going to go, and I'm going to get myself a soda real quick because I'm dying of thirst. And make sure he doesn't make any noise coming in. That way I've killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, we're going to make one more flower, and we're going to make a lavender rose this time. So I have lightened my, this is the original color. I've lightened it to a more lavender color, sort of like this rose here. And this is stuff that I already had made, so I'm using what I had. So I didn't make this in front of you guys. So you just take white and add it to your color until you get it to the color you want it, you guys. You can add more or less and just get it where you want it. And this time, just like last time, I'm just going to take, first of all, I'm going to make my little center bit. And I'm just going to put a piece of purple over the top here, form it over in a ball, sort of. And I'm going to stick it down to the stick, and I'm going to bring it to more of a point on top. Just not too long. And as I do this a few times, I'm sure I will, like I said, I will get better and better at this, and then I'll be able to really show you guys some more skills that maybe from watching the other videos I didn't get that information, or I didn't pick up, or whatever, and I'll be able to relay whatever new skills I create for myself and pass it on to you guys. Because you guys know, I always get better as I do things more and more times. So, you know, my first time with anything is usually maybe a bit sketchy. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. So we're just going to make some petals here. Not too thin. I'm not going real thin with them. These are the thicker petals. Some bigger, some littler, just to kind of, and this one's going to be wrapped around the initial post. That is so not round. I want that rounder than that. Okay, that's better. Okay. Good. Okay. I really do like that last one I made, though. I like the thicker petals, I think. Who knew? I thought I would like it more lacy and thin, but honestly, I think what happens when you make them so thin, the clay kind of starts to drop into itself, and it kind of, I don't know, it seems like it gets more, not muddied, but it doesn't have as much definition. It has definition. I take that back. It has definition. but the petals tend to like stick to themselves, stick to each other a little bit more. Unless you can do it super fast so that that sticky clay doesn't stick any worse with itself. And I'm hoping I've got enough made here to get enough petals. I feel like I've made some of these petals a little bigger than I really needed to, but oh well, that's okay. Hopefully that just means I'll need less of them. I'll make these two smaller ones that will go in the center. And that's what we're going to try and get away with, that many petals right there. If I have to make more, I have to make more, but I'm hoping that that will be plenty. Okay, so the next one we're going to put on is this one, and this is the one that's going to wrap around as the bud. And I'm going to try and bring it in as close to that point as I can at the top, and then just sort of roll it down a little bit, just like that.
So there's our bud.
And then this is a nice small petal here. I'm just going to wrap that there. And we'll take this next small one and put it right there. And now I'm going to take both of these petals and I'm going to bend them back and do my points. Bend them back. I should have done this as I was going and I didn't on that first one. So there we go. And we got our point. So that looks really pretty. And I think I've got more than enough petals here to make a beautiful, beautiful flower. So bend back and point. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. There. Between those two. And bend it back. There. And there. And point it right there. That did not come to a pretty point. I do not like the way that one came out, so we're gonna start fresh here. We just want a nice little point. We don't want it to go too exaggerated or it doesn't look right. So that little point there is going to be what we're looking for. So let me get this one and fold this end back, fold this end back, and then a nice little point, just like that. And now we'll go with the next one, and that one, it is looking gorgeous, you guys. This is a pretty rose. And this is where we're gonna let it point. And I've got this bud here. This is gonna go here, and I think I am going to need one more. Oh, you know what? Maybe not. Yeah, I am going to need one more. So I'll just reshape that other one that I pulled off. And actually, I might need two, but I don't have two more. So here's what we'll do. We'll make a little bit more. We'll mix a little bit more clay up. Put some white. And we'll just mix that right up. If you guys heard whispering a few minutes ago, that was Jeff. He came in, he went to Home Depot and he came in to say hi to the puppy. So he tries to whisper so that it doesn't get heard on my videos, but you guys almost always hear the whispering and say, oh, that sounded weird, what was that? Just Jeff whispering to the dog, petting her, telling her hello, because he knows she misses him. She can go out there with him, but I'm telling you, if you've got tools in your hand, or a broom, or a vacuum, or a shovel, or anything like that, she darts. And I just know, she's been that way since the day we got her. I just know that whoever had her, because she's a rescue, whoever had her before was terrorizing her with things like that. And thank goodness, she is the sweetest dog you ever want to meet. She is just the sweetest. And I just can't imagine anybody ever putting torture upon a dog like that. It just, oh, it just really upsets me to even think about that, you know, what she might have gone through before we got her. I just feel terrible. And for any dog that gets stuck in that situation, thank goodness we got her when she was only 3 months old. So she was one of the lucky ones that got away as a puppy. You know, some of them aren't so lucky and they don't get away when they're still puppies. They are there in it for years taking that kind of abuse, and it just... And the other thing she doesn't like is the hose. She loves water, you guys. She loves water. But you turn a hose on and she will run like crazy. She will just run away from you. And the thing is, she even loves a bath. But if I turn the water on to draw the bath, then I can't get her in there because I turned the water on and she saw what came out of that pipe. So she's scared when it comes to hoses and things like that. So whoever had her before us, I think they were not always so nice to her, and it just breaks my heart to think about that. How people are willing to treat dogs, you know. She was just a baby. But she's, again, one of the lucky ones. She got out of it and got with us, and she is spoiled rotten. And that is okay by me. I love spoiling my puppy. Okay, so I'm going to be putting like one more on there. And I think we're going to be okay. I feel like I'm going to need 2 more, but I've got 1 more piece here, so that's okay. That is a beautiful, beautiful rose. Oh my word, prettiest one yet. But I am going to need this one last piece. So we will turn that into a petal. And we're going to put that right there, and we're going to be all set. Look at that. This is a bigger rose, but I'm super glad about that because I need some bigger ones too. And I'm just always afraid that if I go too big, I'm going to go too far and then I'm going to ruin it. But this is not a ruined rose. Look at that. Oh my word, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to set this aside and we're going to make 2 leaves, and I'm just going to split this green in half and make 2 leaves. And they're probably going to be just about the same size as the ones I made for the other flower that had some white in it. And you could take this, if you don't like the dark green leaves, you could take it and add some of the lighter green into it, or just make the lighter green leaves, whatever you want to do, guys. There's these beautiful colors to work with. And I just happen to prefer dark green leaves on my flowers. And this one, I'll just kind of mix it up and get that white in there, and if it's a little lighter than the other one, that's okay too. But I don't want white swirls in it for sure. So it can take a minute to get the 2 colors to mesh together. You just gotta twist and twist and twist and move and twist again, and eventually you won't see those swirls. And I think we're kind of pretty much there. Okay, so now I'm gonna press it out, make our point. This one might be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I'm alright with that. I kind of like it when there's one smaller leaf and one bigger leaf. I don't like things to be matchy-matchy. I'm really weird about that. And I think this time I'm going to hold it in my hand and try and do this way. Because the leaf will stay where it's supposed to be. A little easier in my hand than on top of that piece of paper where it wants to just slide. Okay. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and add these 2 leaves. I'm going to go right there, I think. I'm just going to press it into the other clay. And this one's going to go right next to it. That should be okay. It's funny, the bigger leaf actually looks like the smaller one. I pressed it in a little farther, I think. It's okay. They look beautiful in my eyes. And I'm going to give them a little bit of a shape here. Just so that they have movement. I like movement, right? We like movement, and I'm going to take this, just sort of curl it down a little bit, and then curl it up. There, that works. There we go.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
And we're going to twist that a little bit. Take our razor blade, and this girl is going to be heavy. And I want want to try not to let it drop and squish those leaves when it hits the ground. There we go.
And look at that. Look at that, you guys. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to set my oven to 250 degrees. And this is going to go in the oven for 20 minutes. Let's see, it says 250, bake for 15 minutes. So I'll be right back.
Okay, you guys, so while I've got the oven going, I wanted to show you guys I've been working on some of my tins. These are just note tins. They're not, I mean, you could use them as prayer tins, whatever you want, but they're not, they don't have any wording that says, you know, anything about prayers or anything like that. They're just decorated tins. And I have several of them that I've been making, and they're all going to go into my shop probably around the same time. This one is one of my favorites.
Look at that. And I just want to show you guys what I've got going in my shop.
Gorgeous. And then I have not decorated this one, and honestly I have doubts that I will even decorate this one any further because I like it so much the way that it is without anything on top of it that I'm feeling kind of like I want to leave it alone. So this is the inside, and they are all going to have, it goes this way, they're all going to have these note cards in them. Some may be different. I think most of them are going to have pretty much the same, there we go, the same stuff or most of the same things unless the colors are different. This is the ones for the purples. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at that. So cute. That one's upside down. There we go. Got to turn them again. Isn't that beautiful? And that one. They're all gorgeous. I don't know how I got these all flipped around different directions. Look at her. Isn't she just gorgeous? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I got them right off camera. Doggone. But they're all going to be just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful note cards. Look at that one. I love this one. I love this one too. I mean, they're all beautiful. I figured I couldn't go wrong with all of these gorgeous note cards going in there. So, and these flipped around again, so there we go. All right, so that's that one. And again, it is so beautiful on the outside. I thought maybe I could take a couple of these little flowers that I just made with the clay
and just add a couple of those to the top, but honestly on this one, do you really need anything to go on there?
I don't think so. It's so gorgeous. So I don't know. This one is decorated. So this is the this way. This is the next one.
And again, they're all resined on the top. And look at the decorations on that one, the embellishments.
So, so pretty. And this has the same note cards in it because it's in the purples. So you're getting all the same note cards. This one's one of my favorites. So yeah, a whole bunch of note cards. And then I've got my blue one that I used. Remember, I made this embellishment.
I did a video on making these embellishments, and it's got the resined roses on it.
These were the paper roses that I resined. And one of my handmade butterflies. And this one, of course, is blue, so it's got most of its cards are in blues. And then there's going to be some that are just muted colors that are in all of them, I think. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, they're so, so gorgeous. think I didn't find as many blue as I did the other colors, so, and here's some of the muted ones. Look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is one. See, I did 2 of these. I did them darker in my next set, and I like the darker ones. They're just way more defined. And I also increased the definition on that when I did the second set. Look at that. That one is gorgeous. You got 2 of those. This is beautiful. My Debbie would love this. And look at that. Gorgeous. So that's the blue. Beautiful, beautiful tin. And I just heard my oven go off, so I'll have to kind of hurry through the rest of these. This is another one. And this one is a prayer tin. It's got a cross in it. And it's got smaller note cards in it. And I think I still have to cut the corners on a lot of these. So forgive me. Yeah, I haven't cut the corners on these yet. Look at them. They are gorgeous, you guys. And these were some of the ones I had before I printed the ones I just showed you in the blues and purples. So there's a lot of the same cards in here, but that's okay because they're all so darn gorgeous. Actually, you know what? I take that back, you guys. This is mine. Huh. This is mine. And I kept it for me because I want to start writing down some prayers. So I've got some prayers going on in here. So this is mine. And this one I think I've probably shown you guys before. So you might be seeing repeats here. But these are some of the ones that I've been writing my prayers down on. So that is, I don't know how many of these. I've got a bunch of them that have prayers already. So this one is mine. So it's not for sale. I don't know, I may switch things around and I don't know. We'll see. But I like that one. That was my favorite of the first ones I did. And this is my black and white one.
You guys, this is stunning. You cannot say that that's not stunning.
I am in love with this black and white one. It's my favorite so far. This one I put
a black and white refrigerator magnet on. Another gorgeous,
gorgeous piece. One of my cards. And then some of these cards don't come out easily over the lip, so. And this one I think I did do a video on. Yes, I did, and I showed it, I think, in Happy Bird's Glitter Nest. And these are the cards that are in this one. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay. I heard my oven go off, and that one's in black and white. Isn't that gorgeous? And some of the other ones, I added a few to this package. Aren't they beautiful, you guys? I love this one. This is one of my favorites. So that is that box. And that is just if you want to use it as a prayer box or something else. And then I've got this one, which is not done yet. And it's got a whole bunch, whole bunch more of the note cards. This is gonna, those will be split between a couple of different tins. But you get a lot of note cards in these, and I just think they're absolutely stunning and gorgeous. But like I said, this one I just am feeling kind of like I don't even want to add anything to the top of it because it's so beautiful just the way it is. I like it just like that. And then there's this one. And that one's got more of the pinks. It's not done. I still have to embellish it. But I'll show you this one because it's got some that aren't in the other ones. Look at these shoes. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. We've got our little girl and some of the muted ones. And our little kitty. And look at that one. So lacy. And look at that shoe. Oh my word, you guys, that shoe is so gorgeous. Some of these I'm going to print a whole bunch of them out. Look at that one with the old telephone. And there's our pretty girl. And some of these I put them in there because they might have been in the blue one too, but they had pink in them too. So I went ahead and put them in both. Look at those guys. I mean, they are absolutely stunning. I love this one too. Isn't that pretty? So that's what's going in the pink one. And I still have to finish embellishing it. I've got a butterfly to put on it, to make and put on it. I need to get the paint off the inside of the lid, which I will do. And embellish it, because this one I definitely want to embellish the outside because I've got some blank space there that I can work with. So those are my tins. Hold on just a minute, you guys. I'm going to go get our flowers. Okay, you guys, we got them done, and here, let's go ahead and let's pop them in this little box top here so they'll look really pretty. I made some extra leaves as well. After I popped them in the oven, I thought, you know what, I want to make some extra leaves because I had an idea. So I made some extra leaves as well. But these are our gorgeous roses, you guys. They came out amazing. Look at this one. I mean, that is just, you can't say that's not gorgeous. This one. These two are my favorite. The purple one and this little white one are my two favorites, and those were the last two that we did. And I think I found my thing on how I want to do it, because you can see this one's beautiful. It's still a pretty rose, but it just is not as refined as these two are. Same with this one. It's beautiful and I will use it, but I prefer these two. So that's the way I'm going to be making my future roses. And then this is from yesterday. I made those two and that one, that poor little purple one. But yeah, so that's all the roses that I've made, and I hope you guys liked this tutorial. I'm going to do some more. I'm going to make some different, if I can, I'm going to try and find some other colors that we can use over at the Dollar Tree. And if not, what I may do is I may go to Hobby Lobby or something and try and get some polymer clay there just to play around with if they're having a sale or what have you, or Michael's. Michael's is just so gosh darned expensive, though. I have gotten to a point where I don't even want to shop there anymore. So, and I don't know if Hobby Lobby's doing the same thing or not, because I have not literally been to a Hobby Lobby in probably 2 years. So yeah, it's been a while. Whoops, I didn't put this back in its thing. Oh, that's my prayer box. Yeah, that was in my prayer box. Okay. Well, it's going back in. I like having my cross in there. So that's going to stay with me. Okay. So, you guys, that is it. I hope you liked it, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. I hope you have hit the subscribe button and the like button, and make a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this. Would you like me to do more videos on making roses? Or maybe making some other little styles, because I'd like to make some that are like smaller roses and all of that stuff too. So I really loved doing this. I enjoyed it so thoroughly, and I hope you guys did too.
Have a wonderful day. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay well, be kind. And I will put pictures on the back end for you to view. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys. Love ya.